It appears that Macy's new CEO has a tougher job ahead of him than Wall Street imagined. The department store chain posting yet another sales slump. Same store sales dropping 4.6% last quarter, more than analysts estimated. The Macy's miss is dragging on the entire sector. Shares of JCPenney, Kohl's and Nordstrom all deep in the red. For more, we're joined by Shelly Banjo, a Bloomberg Gadfly columnist covering retail. And from our Princeton bureau is Poonam Goyal. She's senior US retail analyst for Bloomberg Intelligence. Thanks for joining us both. Shelly, I'll start with you. I'm looking through the numbers here. It's really tough to find a silver lining. It's not in their core business, it's their real estate.
And in general, they came out with even worse numbers than they, were previously expected. People had been bringing down these expectations of how Macy's was going to do, and they came in even worse than that.
We were talking about this earlier. Their EPS that they came out with was significantly worse than expected. But if you go back to a year ago, the downgrade that we've seen in their EPS estimate was quite significant too. So, this is getting worse, if not better. What can the CEO do here?
Well, for one thing, I thought that, the CEO should come out with this kind of grand proclamation or, a little bit more energy about what you're going to do. You come out with this loss and Macy's comes out and just says, we're trying on these new things. We're trying to, boost the stores. We're trying to stabilize the business. People don't want to hear that. They want to hear how you're going to return to sales, and they still haven't really come up with an answer.
Strategy.
Yeah, you can't cut your way to growth, and we've been hearing about cost cutting for quarters and years now. Poonam, a few years ago, I feel like everyone was praising Macy's for its omni-channel strategy, where people could buy online, they could pick it up in the store. Also, the inventory, how it was automatically updating whether you were buying in the store or buying online. There's also the selection of brands within the store. What happened to that success story?
It's, all that's still true. The problem is that that's no longer a differentiator for the company. Everyone does it now. So what they have to do is do something different, and they really haven't found a way to do that. Their biggest challenge is traffic. And the biggest challenge to drive back traffic is the fact that they're on the mall. So unlike Kohl's, which is 90% off the mall, Macy's is almost entirely on the mall, and people aren't going to the mall.
And Macy's aren't going to the mall. If we look at a chart of Macy's, you can really see how the stock price has kind of struggled here over time. Shelly, you've also looked at how other retailers are faring. H&M and Zara, we know that they're expanding in the U.S. Are they putting themselves at risk of making the same mistakes that are currently dragging down U.S. retailers, whether it's too many stores, too much square footage, the nonstop discounting?
I think that it's certainly a problem with the real estate. You're not going to want to expand as quickly as people did in the past. And you have to create a sort of business strategy which is not only, based on adding as new stores every single year. And so that's going to be the key for them. But what you're seeing with an H&M or Zara, for example, they're almost becoming the new department store. They're adding home, they're adding beauty, they're adding all of these things that they're getting to consumers faster, more in style, more in fashion, in season, without having to wait. And, these things are really displacing stores like a Macy's and a Kohl's.
The CEOs of Macy's said today that the US is over-retailed compared to other regions, but you're just talking about the fact that H&M, the likes of Zara, are making a push here. Is this just adding more damage, or is there capacity for everybody? They've just got to restructure their business models. And if it's about more online, you have to look at perhaps someone like Nordstrom, who's got, 25% of their revenues now are coming from online. And that differentiation matters.
Look, you don't need as many stores as you once did. It's just you don't need that as long as people are going online, especially to buy certain basics. And you're seeing people, pull back. But Macy's says they're closing 100 stores, but what they don't mention in the same breath is they're also adding other stores. They're adding these backstage stores, these off-price stores. They're adding Bluemercury, their beauty stores. So, in the end, is Macy's really closing as many stores as they need to if they're also adding all this other brick and mortar real estate?